Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to this series on how to draw iconic images. Before we start, of course, if you could subscribe, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. And also, if you want to know what's coming up next, well, ring that little bell icon, okay? Right, well, the iconic image today is that magnificent stag painted by Sir Edwin Landseer in 1851, the Monarch of the Glen. And I'm going to start with the stag's head, looking to the side, and a little bit of his head between the nubs that the horns grew out of, so you get that top to his head there, and then that kind of nub shape there, and another one coming in about there. And from these kind of shapes, then the horns or the antlers branch out, okay? So from that point there, you get the first one coming up and a curve coming up like that. Right, and the main one comes out about here and then branches up quite a long way up and a curve like that there, okay? And they're all kind of joined together, so you don't see any specific line between them all, but that will come up to a point there, and from about here, well actually this curves around before it joins that bit there, and there's another part of the antler that comes up like that, coming behind that one, comes up, joins there, and there's one that comes from about here and curves behind that one, branches into another one. Now each of the antlers have 6 points, which actually makes the stag, there's another one there, a royal stag, not a monarch. Only a stag with 16 points, that is 8 on each antler, can actually be called a monarch. But never mind, it's called the Monarch of the Glen, meaning basically the king of the Glen. So it doesn't really refer to the antlers. So that one comes up from there, okay? And that curves around, there's another one appearing there, like that, a bit more pointed. Then the main sweep of the antler comes behind the ear. The ear on this side starts about here. It's quite a large leaf-shaped ear coming like that. And this antler sweeps away up like that. And behind it, the main part of the antler comes and carries on and curves up into 3 parts. One here, one going over there like that, kind of joining down there, another one's coming behind there like that. Okay, so they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side. Okay, so it's a 12-pointer. Right, so that's the 2 knobs there. Now below that you have the ridges above the eyes. So you have a ridge coming like that. Another one there, the eye kind of protrudes slightly. Below that you have quite a sensitive looking eye, which comes up at an angle. And then it goes in a slope like that. And underneath you have that shape there. And double up at the top, and then a line underneath. And directly across from that you have the line coming down of the top of the snout or the nose there, okay? And you have the nose itself coming in that kind of almost triangular shape, like that, okay? And there's a slight dip in the middle, so you get that. And you get the nostril one coming in there, that sort of shape. Another one just appearing at the edge there, like that. And just below that, you get the mouth. Now there's a curve, as the nose comes around like that, you get the curve of the mouth beginning, and then the mouth curves up and down like that. Underneath that you have its chin shape. And another line coming in here, see that? The other ear, by the way, comes in from behind here and comes up and kind of just touches into that bottom part of the antler there, and there's that, and that again another kind of leaf shape. And in here, it almost comes down to the corner of the eye there. And then the inside of the ear shape comes in like that. Okay? Now the ear at the back here then slopes down and joins the neck, very broad neck, you know, across here. The centre of the chest would come down here, but you're seeing the side of the neck. And if you want to draw that by using kind of slightly broken lines to suggest the hair on the back, the fur on the back of the stag's neck and back. Because you're looking sideways, you get that bump there, then you get the slope of its back sloping down this way, then its haunches come around like that. See that shape as it's turned around? And of course, as I say, the chest is around here, so you get the shapes of the, almost like a lion's mane, only it's a lot shorter, of course. You know, heavy kind of pelt coming down, sweeping down towards the centre of his chest there. That kind of shape there, see that? And then below that you get another curve coming down. The bottom part of his chest there, quite very powerful. And coming right around. And his leg starts just above that line, coming down. And almost like the elbow shape coming in there. And his side shape comes in here, like that. Another leg appearing on the other side there. You don't actually see the bottom of the legs because they are hidden in the heather and the grasses that Sir Edmund Landseer drew and painted to suggest the stag on the mountainside of the hillside in Scotland. The back haunch comes into, but here that curve carries on round, that kind of curve of the rump there, big muscle. Then the legs come down, another one more or less parallel to that coming in there. Again, all these grasses you can just sketch in like that. See that? There's your shape now of the Monarch of the Glen. Obviously, Sir Edward Landseer painted it in oils, but what we're going to do today is to draw in pencil and give you an idea of the shapes and the light and shade on it. Okay? Okay, well, we'll start with the shading on the antlers. Obviously, the light's coming from one side, about this area here. So usually the underside, the opposite side will be in shadow. So what you do is put a bit of weight on your pencil. It's a bit more curved than that, so let's bring it in a bit like that. Put some weight on your pencil to get it nice and dark. Then as you come towards the centre, just take the weight off. So you get that much more subtle look. Okay, same with this one here. Nice and dark underneath. Coming towards the point, and take the weight off. And this one here, the shadow is on that side, and you get a little bit of groove coming down there. With this one, it's actually on both sides. And as I come down more behind the main part of the antler, it actually then becomes all dark. So that area there is all dark. And as it comes up and catches the light, you take the weight off your pencil and leave that bit white. Okay, so that shades around there. Same with that one. It's going to be shaded on either side. And this one too. It's going to be lighter on top but darker underneath. And the same goes to these two. You know, you would start off dark like that, but as you come down to near these nubs of the antlers grow from, then you get darker and then leave them a bit more shaded as you come up to the top there. Okay, so that's going to be a mid-tone and then darker under here and so on. Darker under there, dark round there, and dark round here. Okay, so I'm going to work on that, and let's catch up when I've done it. Okay, I'm just finishing off shading the antlers now. Bit of dark under here coming up this side. A bit dark there. Okay, so that gives you an idea of the three-dimensional quality of those antlers. Now, back down to the head now, and we start to shade in the top part. And I say the ridge above his eyes, you get a slightly dark line, almost like an eyebrow there. But the ridge above his eyes is shaded in a mid-tone, like that. Okay? And you see his other eye appearing in just the part of it appearing, and the black shape of his eye there. And what I can do is put a highlight there, and maybe one down here as well, and just shade the rest in black. Like that. Okay? And a bit of shading under the eye there. That kind of almost the shape of the eyeball inside the skin there. And top part of the nose there is dark, so you shade that in almost in a triangular shape like that, coming down to the nose itself, and then shading the nostrils nice and black like that, and back up to the ear here. Inside of the ear, not too black, not too dark, just mid-tone like that, and here a bit more dark around the top end of the ear, and the inside a bit dark on the top, and then lighter as you come down. So you get that kind of shape there. Okay, and in between the nostrils we have a bit of shading, and delineating that shape there. Okay, and a bit more shading just under the, almost as if it's slightly open, like that. A bit of dark shading here, that triangular shape there, and a bit more shape around the side of the nostrils. And then put a dark bit of shading underneath the chin here. Get that shape there. And a bit of shading down this side here, like that. Okay, now I'll move down to the actual body of the stag. And this part here, again, it's a sketch, so you can use short strokes to suggest the fur. And there's a band of lighter fur there coming in, and then there's quite a dark band. See the big triangle shape here? This is all quite dark. So again, you can actually use pencil, the flat edge of the lead point, to do it in a circular motion, but then you can also, do short strokes to suggest the fur. So that fills that area there, and also that area there, and then come down into the center and almost like a big diamond shape there in the middle of his chest, and then underneath there, and there just at the side of the legs. I'm going to work on that. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I've been working on that central part of his chest there, and there's another dark area comes up here. Imagine this big area here is the muscle of his leg and his shoulder coming down, so that'll catch the light. So you'll get the shading on either side of that coming up. Now that, a big patch of shading on this part, and as it comes towards the underside of the stag, it gets a bit darker there. And another nice big dark bit around here. Okay, let's shade in the leg here now. This is a bit darker at the top. I'm getting a bit lighter as you come down to the bottom there. Let's accentuate that leg there. You get that kind of muscle coming down the center of it. And a bit of light shading there. Leave that light, remember. And then all this area here, again, your pencil should be slightly blunter now, so you get a kind of flat edge, so you can get a slightly thicker line when you shade like that. And as you come underneath, a bit more weight on it, use the same short strokes for the sketch, and underneath back to the slightly lighter tone as well. Okay, As we go around the back here, it's actually a kind of middle tone, but darker right towards the back of the rump here, like that. A bit more weight in the pencil. And then underneath we get a bit of shadow. Now its stomach there, and a bit more shading on its leg. And this leg underneath is catching the light a bit more. Like that, okay. And then we can actually then put in some deeper shadow on the grasses, leave the grasses at the front light, like that, and a bit more dense shading behind it there. Again, you can go to town with your sketchy lines coming across to represent the grass, okay? Nice sweep of line coming up here, like that. And behind its back leg again. Lines like that. Right, just move back up here and you finish this bit of shading over the top of the leg muscle there, pointing up there. Okay. Right, well that gives you a nice idea of the commanding shape of the Monarch of the Glen. Now what I'm going to do now, just to finish it off, is get a fine pen and just outline that shape, make it stand out a bit more. Okay, I've got a 0.8 pen now. I'm just going to go around these outside shapes, just to pick them out like that, and make them stand out, make the drawing look that bit more graphic. And so on, see how that helps? Okay, another one here. I'll just carry on doing that. And you could also, as well as the outside shape, you could actually just, put a wee touch of black line over some of the more important shapes like the eye here. Make that stand out. Okay, maybe just around the back of the nose as well. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that. Let's see how it looks when I've done it. Alright, I've finished outlining the stag now, and if you like, what you could do is use your pen just to touch in some of these grasses at the bottom here. Make them stand out a little bit more. Like that. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you can join me again for another tutorial. But in the meantime, of course, all the best and happy drawing!